Good morning and a warm welcome to Donington Park. Today you find us for rounds 5 and 6 for the Darlington District Motor Club Northern Sports and Saloon Car Championship. So currently leading the championship. So if anyone who's watched the Knockhill video, seeing we started off the season there. Then we went across to Mallory, which was so hot. Never raced in 30 odd degrees before, but yeah, that was at Mallory. So here today at Donington. Got here last night. Went to Orissa. If there's a tip for anybody who wants a curry, what a nice night that was. Food was absolutely fantastic. Very tasteful, and there's even a magician came around the table, and he was very good. I was impressed with the magician. So yeah, so that's a good tip. Orissa, could certainly recommend that one. So yeah, so we've been scrutineered last night. We've got the car ready, the cameras are in the car's fueled up, ready to go. All my kit's on, so we've got a driver's briefing at 8 o'clock, and then my first car's on circuit about 9:20. So it's going to be a busy day, because then race 1 is late morning, and then we're out again mid-afternoon. So I'll give you an update as we get on after qualifying race 1 and race 2. Let's hope the weather holds off. It's a little bit grey at the minute, where the sun was out earlier, but let's see what that brings. And looking forward to a good day at Donington. Catch you soon. So just got back in from qualifying. Gotta say, it's one of the tracks I'm not, it's wrong to say I don't know my way around it, but not confident with the shortcut, should we say. Best bits to steal here and run wider there, or cut the corner there. So learnt pretty quick out there today, because wasn't really feeling the confidence as I went out. I have been here 3 or 4 times, so I should, but it's not a track I turn up and go, oh yeah, I really excel here. So went out and did that, as I always say, warm myself up, warm the car up, and we got a couple of fast laps in. Lap times were coming down all the time, so qualified on a 17.2, not a particularly fast time. I think there was definitely a 16 in the car, and should be, but it's put me on the front row, so that's good. I'm alongside Scott, so anyone that's watched the Mallory video will see me and Scott were on the front row at Mallory. So front row next to the T16 Scott, with the GT3 Marcos behind me. So that is an incredibly fast car. Again, both Scott and the Marcos on slicks, I'm on treaded, so gonna have to try and do our best to make use of the 4-wheel drive off the line. I think that's the strategy. And then we've got Alex Prentice in the very fast Golf GTI behind Scott. So that's the 4 of us that make up the front 2 rows. So it should be exciting down the front, down the first corner. So feeling good. Been had an egg bun, which is the egg and bacon bun, which is the important thing. So we're feeling pretty good. Car's fueled up, ready to go. Weather's staying dry at the minute, and we're out in about an hour's time. So that should be good. So I'll come back to you with a race update. But feeling good at the minute. Enjoyed myself, and the track felt really fast. Catch you soon.
Perfect timing, Rob, because the cars are being released onto their green flag lap, and yeah, interesting race here for the DDMC Northern Saloon and Sports Car Championship. The Darlington District Motor Club running this series that traditionally is based up in the northeast of the country, does a lot of racing up at Croft, but has made the trip slightly down south on the M1 to join us here at Donington Park, and another eclectic mix of cars. Similar sort of vibe to the CNC Head Sports Saloons, similar mix of cars. But some different drivers to entertain us over the course of the next 15 minutes plus 1 lap, which is the duration of these races. Scott Hubel's Peugeot 205 T16R, which sounds incredible, starts on pole position. Mike Williamson alongside in his Mitsubishi Evo. Then it's Alex Prentice and Colin Simpson in the Marcus Mantis on road 2. Then Michael Berg and Dave Todd ahead of Steve Keller, Stephen McNabb, Chris Rees and Alan McPherson complete the top 10 ahead of Colin Dunn and Phil Jordan. Then it's Gary Bowers and Sikong Liu, with Stephen Rees and Robert Claxton on row 8, row 9, John Armstrong and Stephen Reed, row 10, Simon Baker and Harry Price, and Paul Lightburn and Stuart Middleton out the back of the 22-car grid. So much the same as the CNC Heads series, championship I should say. There are multiple classes that drivers will do battle in. But I have to say, this is a particularly interesting grid of cars, isn't it? A couple of real oddities out there, and we like oddities, don't we?
Yes, we do. There's a few cars. It pains me to say that even though I'm going to be particularly pedantic and Anuraki, as I always am, as you know, yes, it's a 205 T16, probably in terms of its body shape. For those who are Group B fans and Anurak's like me, they'll say, oh, that's not a 205 T16. No, it isn't. It's probably a tribute car and it's been named as such. But it's great to have something like that, of course, in the mix at the front of the field. That car's been in the field for a while. But you've got a Mitsubishi Evo 4. You don't see many Evo 4s out there in any context race, and they tend to be quite a rarity in terms of JDM cars. But you've got a Subaru Impreza and also a Marcos Mantis, which has been named a Marcus Mantis rather than Marcos, I thought, but that's just an alternative version. Someone just forgot how to spell it. But nonetheless, good to see there's 4 different mixes of cars, and I believe this is definitely a standing start for this championship. Golf in the mix as well. That sort of really nice golf-coloured Subaru. I've seen that a few times as well in the field, 2 in places in other spots. And I'd say as well, considering it is a more north or northwestern-based championship that goes and races particularly like Croft, to get 22 entries. Good entry for them in many cases to come that far. What is effectively them an away round in many cases, well it is because it's outside of that being the Midlands, but it's a bit of a trip down south compared from Croft. A couple of cars which were racing yesterday. I noticed Colin Dunn's Renault Clio was in the field midway through. There was racing in Production Cup yesterday. To have that going to be an extra run out. And of course there's a couple of X5s. There's of course the BMW 1 Series, I think that's 120 Coupe, I think. And you've got some more typical club racing cars. There's Clio's, Honda Civic Type R's, a couple of other different machines in there too. There's a Porsche 928 I can see. There's even that Renault Clio with a Maxi Rally style body kit on the left. That's Lou in the mix as well. A couple of minis towards the back. And they have a nice, very mix of typical familiar club racing cars. There's some oddities in there to kind of make it a bit more unique. And even though he's about to start the race, I think Scott Hooper might want to close his door because the race is going to start in a few seconds' time. As we'll see a very interesting rally-inspired Peugeot versus Evo sprint down towards turn 1, where they eat with a Golf, a Marcos Mantis, and a Subaru and Co. all chase them down towards Redgate. Yes, I suspect a couple of those cars towards the front, the Mitsubishi and the Subaru, are 4-wheel drive as well, so they should get off the line. Well, let's find out. Off they go, and yes, the Mitsubishi is going to grab the lead quite comfortably heading into Redgate corner for the first time. So Mike Williamson then with the early advantage. Scott Hubel tucks into second position. The Subaru, they didn't actually get off the line all that well, did it, from the third row of the grid, that of Dave Todd, but they're all cleanly round Redgate, and the Mitsubishi is scarpered immediately. Mike Williamson with a very healthy advantage. Scott Hubel in qualifying was 1.1 seconds faster than Mike, but on this opening half a lap or so, it's definitely advantage Mitsubishi as Dave Todd. Come on. heading behind them, whereas both those cars have gone through recently. Across the line goes Williamson to start his penultimate lap.
2.5 seconds quicker was Hubel that time, Scott.
Okay.
So 5.5 seconds the gap. If he keeps doing that, then it's doable, isn't it?
Again, still 2 laps though. Have to wait and see. And of course, if he keeps on getting in the mix with traffic, and that suggests that not all is fully well with Williamson's Evo, which is a bit of a incentive for Hubel, and you can see he's getting closer and closer as he goes down. He'll have the incentive. He can see him in the distance. He'll know exactly how much he was pulling away initially when he got past him for a few seconds before he then had to recover. So we'll wait and see. Turning in through McLean's for the second to last time. He's not wavered this time, so it looks better, if you understand how I've said that. But not maybe at the point where he's a little wayward there through Coppice. He's almost kind of feels like he's stroking it home a little bit rather than really pushing it. But I think he's probably realised he has to kind of put his foot down once he realises that Hubel is trying to push on a bit more. Prentice holding on to third and Todd in fourth, and the Class C leader of McNab Carnival 1 is getting a little bit closer. He's in P5 now. He's moved up past the Marcos Manchester Simpson, so whatever's happened with him will be intriguing. Right, on to the last lap of the race. Look at the gap. It was about 5 seconds. It's now 4.6, so he's upped his pace a bit more, whether he got held up by somebody. So, again, touch wood, not to wish a commentator's curse, but unless something dramatic happens to Williamson on this final lap, holds his breath, then we should be seeing an Evo win, but he might feel a little bit luckier getting this victory, given that Hubel's pace that he had, if he hadn't had the spin, it would have been P2.
This should be the penultimate lap, actually, because it's 15 minutes plus 1 lap, isn't it, in the DDMC series, so just to keep us on our toes. But yes, it's that was a much better lap, that, for Williams, and I think he must have had a bit of traffic on the lap before. Still slower by about 8/10 than Hubel, which is more or less the rate at which Hubel was catching him before the spin. And so he might get close, but yeah, I don't think Williamson needs to take too many risks here. He's got the buffer. You've got just under a lap and a half of racing still to be done. But Scott Hubel is going to keep pushing on right to the end. As round Coppice Corner they go. What is the gap going to be this time? We've lost Steve Kell, by the way, to the pit lane. So Steve Kell, Sapphire Cosworth, I'm afraid, is in the pits and going no further. There is the Marcos coming down the hill into the old hairpin. This car also slipped down the order. Oh, and the checkered flag has come out on the timing screen. Yes, there we go, checkered flag. So I don't know why I bother getting these grid sheets. Mike Williamson gets the win, and Scott Hubel is second in what was exactly a 15 minutes and 41 second race, but not the extra lap as advertised. I'm not complaining because we're already running into our lunch break, but yeah, it is a slightly earlier finish than we were anticipating. So Williamson the winner, Hubel second, Prentice third, and fourth position should be Dave Todd once he makes it through. There he goes in the on. The podium finishers, though, are down in the pit lane area, ready to catch up with Rob Lewis.
We nearly didn't have a winner because he drove straight past us, which is quite amusing for the last race before lunch. A very, very good win there. Scott Hubel had you on your toes for a while before he went off. But the car seemed to pull off a bit of pace before there. Did you have boost issues or just getting hot?
No, it was all going good. Everything's good. No, Scott, absolutely fantastic competitor. Here he is. Go here, buddy. Well done, mate. Well done.
They say there's no camaraderie in club racing. They're wrong. That was fantastic.
No, it was good. No, Scott, I knew he was going to push hard. I knew he was going to come at me, and he did. He passed me, and yeah, and then I was gifted it back again, wasn't I?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
What happened? Come on, Scott. What happened?
Talent ran out, just briefly.
Briefly, so it did look like you were on the inside for the corner and the rear engine stepped out.
I took a bit different line and it just kicked car a bit too much and I couldn't catch it quick enough.
He was trying hard because up the other side I was out of shape and he was in front of me, and I'm like, that's going some pace, that car, because I'm out of shape and he's in front, and then the next minute, I
wanted to see what grass were like.
But I tell you what, you couldn't get two more different cars as part of this series though. But what is it that makes these two so competitive against each other?
Don't know really.
Scott's got youth and finesse and he's built a brilliant car. I've got some absolute outright grunt on the straights. And I'm learning to drive it and I'm learning my way around Donington and enjoying it. I really enjoyed that.
Drive it and slow down.
Some fantastic racing nonetheless. Congratulations to the both of you.
It's the first for everything. But that Evo 4, and particularly also the Impreza that starts on the second row of the grid, anticipating that should absolutely fly off the line. I just noticed also, having come back from a very very brief sort of step away from the microphone for a moment, and there are one or two rather large holes in the grid from where other cars should be, so a bit of a gap from where the cars were from before. But nonetheless, I think that's set to go for 15 minutes of plus 1 lap, or 17 minutes, whatever we reach first, of DDMC racing. So we're missing the Marcos. DDMC racing once again.
Yes, we are. Can Scott Hubel get a better start this time, or will the four-wheel drive Mitsubishi beat him into Redgate Corner? Let's find out. The red lights go out, and it's a much more even start, actually. In fact, Hubel is going to give Mike Williamson a bit of a race into Redgate Corner, but the Mitsubishi arrives at the braking zone just about ahead. Dave Todd holds on to third position, bit of leaning on each other going on further back, as Colin Dunn there nearly tangled with the BMW of Chris Rees going into the first turn, but it is, as it was in race 1, the Mitsubishi that leads down the hill by a smaller margin, though, I'd say, than he did in the first race of the day. And so Scott Hubel won't want to waste any time here. He'll want to get the lead. Mike Williamson will be a fairly distant second place. Here he comes, but it's still going to be a winning Class B for Williamson. So could have been a lot worse. He has backed off, I think, on this final lap. Dave Todd looks a little bit closer now in the Subaru. He will be second in Class B. Yeah, it was quite a slow last lap that for Williamson, but managed the gap and holds on to the class win. It will also be a class win for Stevie McNabb in the Honda Civic, who's got away, look, from Chris Rees, who potentially slowed there on the run through the final couple of corners, but the BMW man comes through third in Class B. Oh, and look at this side-by-side through the final chicane. The number 10 is the Paul Lightburn Mazda MX-5, and he's just going to get the better of the Mini of Harry Price. Those two were battling for position all race long for 15th spot. They do run in different classes, but next to nothing to choose between them pace-wise. This is an entertaining scrap as well, the 25 Porsche 924. We've had a change here, have we? No, not according to the time. No, there were laps between those cars, actually. So the Porsche ends up fourth in Class B. But there was a class winner in there, actually, the Class M class winner, which was for Mazda MX-5s, I believe. And it was the 1-2-3 car of Stephen Rees who managed to get the class win. So just waiting for, in fact, no, that was the last of the finishers home. So our final DDMC race of the day is done. We've got 4 more races to come your way. Next up, Mazda MX-5s, but first, the result of the Sports Saloon race. Scott Hubel, the winner, Mike Williamson second, Dave Todd third, and fourth position, Stevie McNabb ahead of Chris Rees, with Colin Dunn, Gary Bowers, Phil Jordan, John Armstrong and Robert Claxton completing the top 10. Stephen Rees and Simon Baker outside that top 10 even. Then Saikong Liu, who got to the end of that race unscathed in the Renault Clio, Stephen Reed, Paul Lightburn and Harry Price, whilst Michael Boak unfortunately retired from a promising position at the chicane. Stuart Middleton, also quite an early retiree, pulling the Honda Civic into the pit lane. So the drivers head back down into the pit lane area. There they are, right on cue. Scott Hubel arrives quite a long way in front of anyone else, and that's fitting considering he won that race by 16 seconds, and he is already back in the pit lane. So eager is he to speak to Rob Lewis, and that's something he'll be able to do in just a few moments' time.
Well, first of all, Mike Williamson's just got a bit mixed up. He's parked in the third place spot, but never mind. A great win here by Scott Hubel, who gets himself de-helmeted before he gets out of the car, and nice and sensible. I didn't actually realise before they left, this is a proper, genuine T16 rear engine, no?
No, it's not. No, it's one I built in my shed.
One you built in your shed?
Yeah, it's only 2-wheel drive.
Only 2-wheel drive?
One's 4-wheel drive.
Obviously taking the inspiration from a T16, right?
Yeah, I tried to get as close as possible with the bits I had. I love it.
After, let's call it a faux pas in race 1, you certainly made up for it in race 2. How good did that feel?
Very good. Talent stayed where it was supposed to stay this time, which was a bonus. But yeah, it got a bit lonely. I was missing him. I nearly thought about having a spin around just to
coax him back in.
Yeah. Oh, no, brilliant.
Scott, congratulations. Cheers. Mega performance, mega car. I love a 205. Look how beautiful this car is. They certainly built some beautiful cars in the Darlington and District Motor Club. Let's have a word with our second place man, not the third place as the board suggests. You parked in the wrong area first of all, Mike, but you couldn't quite keep up with Scott this time.
No, he had the jump on me this time. Once them slicks came alive, he was away. So he's a very, very, very fast car. I only needed to win the class, so that's what we've done. So I'm happy.
But you've won your class both times. You've had an overall win and you've had a class win, second place. Great weekend.
Absolutely fantastic weekend. Car's been faultless, team's been great, the race family's been great, you guys have been great, the track's been great. What more can I say? Yeah, absolutely delighted.
Grand Slam, congratulations, Mike. Superb. What a gentleman. And again, beautiful car, an Evo 4. They're just gorgeous.